Niner. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be doing alternate history part 2, attempt 2. I'm not gonna say that in the title, but yeah. So right off the bat, we're gonna start off with a little bit more in Europe. We're gonna have Croatia joining, and that is about it for the orange team. Then you have Slovenia joining the green team, and you also have you also end up having Albania joining the green team also. So with that, you now have the green team and the orange team expanding a little bit more, and the orange team goes ahead and gets to these guys. So yeah, with them getting to here, you now have the orange team, the green team, the yellow team, the red team, the purple team don't like each other. I know I said these guys started liking each other, but something happened right here on the border. Let me get into that. So Russia ended up going ahead and sort of cutting off this area from any German troops traveling through here, because the German government has declared they didn't declare, but they said German troops have to go along the borders and then throughout the country because they don't want any rebellions popping up. And also you have them occupying a little bit of here. So you sort of have them occupying there. And you gotta remember this is sort of part of the red team, and they don't like that. So we'll get into that later. And but something's happening over here in Asia. These guys just declared war on Taiwan. I'm gonna skip that war because you wanna know something here. I'm gonna give you guys some background. This is what the war looked like. I'm gonna just go ahead and skip over the Navy. So Japan ended up joining for a little bit, and same with South Korea, but then they ended up threatening to launch a nuke on Seoul, and then a nuke on Taiwan. No, not Taiwan. Tokyo. So they ended up not doing that, and then since they had no support because the U.S. was worrying about what to do about NATO, this is what it looked like right off the first invasion. And then you have, boop, they surrender, and now, boop. So now Taiwan is a part of China, and China goes ahead and starts to own an alliance with, here, 1 second, I'm just gonna, there. So now you have, Taiwan, no, not Taiwan, China and North Korea joining off, and then Pakistan, and that's pretty much it for now. And then you go ahead and have Japan breaking off into their own alliance because, well, same with South Korea because they don't want to be invaded by the Chinese or whatever the Green Alliance is called. So also the Philippines, I hate coloring in islands because I can't just quickly swipe them all, and they're all there. And also Australia. So now with that, the world is now starting to look more separate. I still don't know what to do with Africa, really, guys, but you're also gonna have a couple more people going ahead and deciding to join the yellow team, which is those guys and those guys. So that's pretty much it right now. And now we're gonna come take over a look over here. So a lot of people don't really like the States right now. Because, wait, what did I just do? I have no idea. Oh well. So, no one really likes the States right now. Especially Canada, because the States has been sending their troops in. So, this is what it looks like. They go ahead and send their troops in. And then it says, hey Canada, my troops are there, can I have this land? They say, hey no, you can't. So, no one really likes the US right now. So, you go ahead and have Canada go ahead and joining on the side of the red team. And that was the last straw for the States. Don't really know why. Maybe because they were bullying their best ally and you pushed them too far. And now, we just go ahead. Boop, 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 boop. And there we go. See? So now with Canada coloring, you now have all of the well, you don't have all, but you go ahead and have the States declaring war on the red team. As you can tell, that's gonna go well for a little bit. Then you're gonna have the States collapsing. Because if you really think about it, they won't be able to handle all of the red team, and Mexico is about to join on the side of the US, on the side of the red team, and that just happened. And a nuke was just launched right there, and also it went ahead and launched one on went ahead and launched one in New York, which I believe is like right here. So the US would probably retaliate, but they were that crushed them really fast. And you go ahead and have the Canadian troops, because of that, you have them able just to do this. Canadian troops are able to take out that by themselves and also hold out this front line right here. They weren't really able to pushing anymore. It also is looking like Cuba might join this war, and same with the Russian alliance, and same with the Chinese alliance. But you have an even bigger invasion down here. They reach California. They sort of do a little bit follow the border down here, and then they take a fair amount of Texas. So the U.S. offered them all the land that offered Mexico to switch sides, and whatever they have right now, they will get to keep. And then next thing you know, Mexico is invading them harder than they ever have, pretty much. Because you gotta remember, the Mexico U.S. war was like over 200 years ago. Sorry. So with that, you have the state of Texas pretty much just being demolished because of, and then it was down like that. So the state of Texas goes ahead and, well, that happens. That sort of looks like Texas. I don't know. They end up just taking all of Texas, and now it's not looking so good for the states. But the states do get their stuff together, and they eventually are starting to able to push down Mexico, because that was crazy how much they were doing. Yeah, I know they just lost like their capital and a whole bunch of stuff, and now they just lost probably a whole bunch of major cities in Texas. Well, now they're pushing back. They're trying to go back for those cities. And now, with that, you should have this like that. And now, wait 1 second. There. Also, you do have them pushing back the Canadians, but there are no matches for our Mooses, and they end up stopping. They do push back up a little bit up there, but not too much. And eventually, German and English troops reach Florida, and that actually canceled. That ended up stopping the. That stops the Cubans to join, except for they could join, but they would just have to go a little bit farther. They reach Florida, and then they just go ahead and move along the coastal line. They try to reach Mexico over there. That didn't go so well. So they're like, let's try to reach Canada. So they spear out from here, and then they try to follow the water line, the coastal line, whatever you call it. And now they did get farther, but it didn't get too much farther. You also have them pushing out here. The States is now starting to collapse, and now it's definitely looking like Russia's about to join. But they don't, because they don't really feel like it. And yes, Alaska is actually holding its own, because they're not actually focusing out here. Because if you think about it, the States, if it was just a war with Canada, then yeah, they would have came down here and then came down there. But in this scenario, they don't have enough time for that, because they have Mexico, they have now the Europeans coming over. Oh yeah, also, during this war, you have these guys breaking away, so that's why you see it. Here, let me get rid of that black box around it. I don't know, you see? Okay. There. See? Like it never existed. Okay, with that, you now go ahead and have the States being brutal to the Mexicans. Because if they even see... So, all Mexicans in the country, I know this, but the States are freaking out, and they are trying to threaten Mexico to back out of this war. So, any Mexicans that were in here or anything like that, they sort of were... like, they were eliminated. They were killed. They am getting killed. So, I'm sorry if that's a sensitive topic for you, but the States, that is the States' fault, not really, but, you know, I think I might be assassinated one of the day in the future. Oh well. Okay, but now you go ahead and have Mexico finally being able to hold a front line down here. Well, down here. Up here, well, it wasn't a front line for really long, because that's gone now. Oh, sorry for the table creaking. Not a table, the desk. And then you have it going up, and then you have the Europeans coming down. But now with the US in scramble in even more pieces, you have Canada coming down and taking all of that. And they finally are able to cross over in multiple areas. So this is not good for the States, because if you take a good look at it, you have Canada crossing out through here. Yeah, they don't get that far, but they still get pretty far. And then you get them all the way out of here. So the States is worried, because they're now inching down to what's left of whatever's left of what is it called? I'm blanking. Sorry, give me a second. I'm blanking. Okay, yes, I now know. It is New York. Okay, sorry guys for that blank. But now with that, you have them trying to connect to each other, but it doesn't work so well. Well, it actually does, because they almost reach each other. Actually, well, they do, but it's just extremely small. So it does, but it doesn't. But while this is happening, the States goes ahead and launches a nuke. But you wanna know what happens? The Canadian Air Force is over here. Whatever we have is over in this area. Guess where they launched their nuke from? Right here. And you wanna know where it was going? Right onto the front line right here. You wanna know what happened? The Canadians ended up shooting that down. Because like they saw it was going up. And then the Canadian Air Force saw it, and then they ended up shooting it down, and then it went. That was the biggest that was the biggest force that they had on the front line there, and now it's gone. So the Americans are crying now. And I will just be coloring over that. And now you go ahead and have the Canadians pushing down with that, because that destroyed their army pretty much. And what is left? So anything past this line is still declared American. Anything this way of the line is declared Canadian. So Canadians pack up their bags and they start moving down. They actually go through the border, and one family decided to move right there. They decided to move they decided to move right there, right beside where New York was. And you wanna know why they were declared that? Because they thought that would make the Canadians happy. They would leave the war. But, no, that just made the Canadians want more. Because the main reason why the Canadians are invading the U.S., like, not trying to solve this, is because they're tired of the U.S. bullying them. So they're kind of like, they're like, no more, I'm done with this. So they go ahead and start invading. And now with that, they are getting down to the capital. But let's talk about down here. A massive invasion from the Europeans ends up meeting up with the Mexicans. And guess what? You finally have the Americans deciding to stop what they were doing. Because, well, stop what they were doing to the Mexicans. And not do it to the Canadians. Not even do it to the Germans. But do it to the French and the British. The French were about to peace out, because, you know, they still had decent ties. But then they started doing what they were doing to the Mexicans to them. So they said, and a massive amount of French troops came up here and came here. That's what you're about to see, guys. Excuse me. And you're about to see that. So with that extra boost of French troops, you have them end up meeting up with the Canadians. Yes, I did do that without seeing it. And also with that extra boost. Yeah. with that extra boost with the Canadians, they go ahead and take out that. So now most of America is gone. What? Why am I in Europe? You go ahead and finally have Alaska, like, sort of just being surrendered over, because they said, okay, well, they just removed all their troops, the little bit of troops that they had along this border, like right here. Right here. Because, well, yeah. But this border, if you were to just look, like, even right here, like, just right here, you would think that the Americans are normal. But you zoom out, and you have America being invaded. Okay, but back to the video. You go ahead and have the Mexicans with the Americans distracted by the French and the English and the Canadians. You have them being able to just push out all the way out to here. Now with that, they go ahead and give up. The Americans have finally lost a war. They are now starting to realize that maybe they weren't even so. Maybe they shouldn't have declared war on this one of the strongest alliances. Maybe they shouldn't have declared war on when nobody liked me. What's gonna happen to me? Am I Canadian now? Because anything on this side, and anything on this side is considered Canadian now by the UN. So you go ahead and have them finally surrendering, because, you know, they end up getting to keep Alaska. I know, it's pretty crazy stuff. Well, and you go ahead and have Mexico gaining a lot from this war, because people did feel bad for them because of what the Americans did to them in the war. So you go ahead and have the Americans. The Americans do end up losing a lot of land. The Mexicans getting all the way up to Washington. And now, with that, you go ahead with, okay, take a look at this, guys, and say it's not a massive gain by the Mexicans. Actually, the Mexicans decide to join the red team side, like, just straight up stay in the alliance. They did end up, like, they did that during the war, but I just didn't mention it. Just decided it. And the rest, well, most of the rest goes over to the Canadians. So some of it goes back to the Canadians. Like, actually a lot amount, because the Canadians lost the most actual troops / people, but the Mexicans were discouraged in this war. So you now finally have that straight border being lost. And now with that, you have the Canadians gaining all of that. And also, they go ahead, they did lose the most people, that's what I'm trying to say. So I was trying to say. And the Mexicans did end up losing a lot, but they didn't lose as much as Canada. So now with that, you have Canada gaining all of this land. I don't know if this is a river, but right now, I'm gonna just say that there are no rivers here. It's just no rivers right there, and yeah, pretty much. Don't think I'm done quite yet. drawing new borders because, well, guess what? The UK just got a lot of land. And then you go ahead and have the French gaining this. So, now with that, you have, pretty much the 13 colonies, but more. And that, so, the Americas are just looking a lot, but Alaska pretty much is America. Like, that is just straight up America. Like, they're nothing else more than just America. So, it's no longer the United States, it's Alaska. And, everyone is pretty much okay with this change, except for the Americans. And, this is gonna be a long video, guys. You guys know that. And, I will show you guys right now, because we're not done with the wars. You know how I was saying this? While that was war, while the war was going on, you go ahead and have these guys going ahead and taking more. But they ended up not fully realizing that Poland is unstable, and with that starts a rebellion in Germany. But it's sort of on the side of them, because they didn't actually fully realize how unstable Poland was in that area. Not that smart, because, well, it's pretty unstable. Think about it. So this whole area ended up becoming a rebellion. So pretty much all of old Poland land, every Polish person pretty much was like, boo, boo, we want our old back, we want our government back, we want it to be a separate entity. But they only go for, like, the original borders. And for some reason it's wait, no, that's not the original border. Oopsies, that goes, like, up here. Yeah, it does, okay. So I just had to think about what the Polish borders look like. And then it looks something like this. You gotta go down, and then you gotta have it like that. So, now with that, you have all of this falling over to the Polish rebellion. And you go ahead and quickly have them taking out this. But, guess what? Russia goes ahead and says, okay, you can go ahead and have all the land that you want from us. Well, not from us, but you know what I meant by that. And they say, oh, thank you for your support. So pretty much they're supporting, because those two alliance, because the Red Team and the Russian Alliance are still technically allies. Allies, not soon to be. So I'm just gonna draw a border for this rebellion and Germany. Obviously, Germany is not gonna, like, let this slide, so they don't recognize that border, so I'm gonna leave that border. But all the other borders do exist because Russia actually gifts them this land. That's the wrong color. I know this color is not pleasant to look at. And guess what? The yellow team just declared, not the yellow, the red team just declared war on the yellow team. Because, well, you're supporting an enemy when you are allies. So, they are surprised why they are supporting them. They ask why they are supporting them. So, yeah. The Polish people have a lot more. land than they did, because I know it would usually be like cut off right here, like, and then it would go down like this. Whoa, why is that actually so accurate? Wait, I'm actually pretty surprised how accurate that is. That looks really accurate. Oh well. That's what they have right now. And this is a strong rebellion, because they do not want to be under Germany's rule anymore. So, they go ahead and take Berlin. Don't think this is a collapse of the red team, though. Because the German army goes ahead and, well, the German army goes ahead and does German things. This isn't going to be an invading color, because technically this is German land. And, Russia is now kind of angry, because they realize by gifting this land to the rebellion, they just gifted that to Germany. So if they get all of that land, then they're gonna invade here, and then Germany's not gonna let them slide this time. But the leader goes ahead and says, hey, they go ahead and like text or whatever, I don't know how they're communicating. But they go ahead and say, hey, all we really want is just to be a separate entity and like just have our own country and with our own rules. They said, what were we, and then the German government said, what were we doing so bad? What, that we had our military so you guys didn't rebel? Well, see how well that went. And then, yeah, so that didn't go so well for them saying that, because, you know, have a lot of nukes being launched on here, on German soil, but technically all Germans were kicked out of this land when the rebellion happened. But they're not nukes. They're like massive, ginormous bombs. So they're like on the brink of being a nuke, but they're just really powerful bombs being dropped. So this is when this isn't like an invasion. This is when the red team actually realizes, oh, Germany needs our help. So they go ahead and help Germany. Obviously, they're not going to get any land out of this, but it's like, it's a part of the alliance. So now you have the Polish rebellion having to focus on two fronts. Obviously, these guys might not be doing too much. These guys here won't be doing too much because they're focused on this front line. Because you gotta remember, these two are in war. But Germany is just happy that they have their capital back. They do end up pushing out a little bit more and starting a spearhead. And Germany says, don't worry, I'll finish it. And that's probably exactly what they're going to do. By probably, I mean, that is. Let me go ahead and meet up with that. And start massively just wiping out armies after, like, the German army all of a sudden is just going crazy. Like, also now all Polish people have been down here, have now been kicked down to here. So these guys hate. These guys hate and in battle. And these guys, they're okay with each other. The orange team and the red team don't really care about each other. They don't really care because they don't really do anything to each other. And pretty much all Polish people before the spearhead happened, they were being evacuated into here. Now they're being evacuated into Russia, down through the water, into the orange, into here. So, well, not really. They're not going through the red. They're going down here. They're taking a boat all through here. and then they go on land and do here. So that's very risky. So someone devise a better plan. Why don't they just go down through Russia, and then come down here, go through here, and then there. See, no one really likes these guys because, well, that's gone. But it did work most of the time, and it was put at a stalemate, this front line, until, well, not down here. This down here was demolished. Until Turkey said, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna go ahead and do something, since these guys aren't. They go ahead and take the first move. And that was not a good idea because guess what? That gives Russia the upper hand. By upper hand, I mean, yeah, as soon as you see how this happened, yep, that's not there anymore. But you finally have a peace treaty happening, and I'll show you guys that in a second. So we'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, do you see the change? Wait, sorry. You guys see the change? Yeah, they end up losing a tiny bit of land from right here. And also they ended up getting forced out of the alliance. So, this is gonna do it for this episode. A lot have changed. And, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!